We are here in Creed with Jenny Inge, and we're going to be talking with Jenny about her work, her amazing creative work that she has been doing throughout her life, and about the Rare Things Gallery. And we're also going to be talking about Keep the Rio Grande Grand, a premier art event to be held August 15th in South Fork. Jenny, thank you so much for taking time out of your incredible schedule and your incredible busy life to talk with us.
Thank you so much.
We would love to hear about how you got started in this wonderful endeavor.
Well, it really had to do with growing up on a farm, which is now the middle of Dallas, but it was outside Dallas city limits as a child, playing in the creek, collecting wonderful natural treasures, seashells, fossils, bones, interesting pieces of wood with texture, and I have to forever be grateful to my parents who fostered and encouraged that. My mom would periodically go, gonna have to do something with this stuff or I'm gonna throw it out. So I would get busy and make little things and give them to her so then she couldn't throw them away. But my father was certain I would grow up to become a museum curator. That's what he wanted me to do. And even as a child, I had, instead of a lemonade stand, I had a little museum. And sign outside on the street, museum a quarter, and we had to move 2 cars to get the museum set up, and it was all those things that we had collected as kids. And in high school, I went to the first high school anthropology class taught in America, and it really fired an interest in pursuing anthropology and archaeology. National Geographic, as a 5-year-old, probably had something to do with it, going, I want to go to Egypt and find mummies. So collecting and discovering and wondering about natural things and ancient things has always been a fascination since I can remember. In college, I majored a double major in anthropology and in art education. And the anthropology archaeology was probably a first love, and the education would have required more schooling, and at the time,
that wasn't.
But I wound up teaching almost as soon as I was out of school. My mentor, teacher, friend, Anne McGee Cooper, was constantly referring people to me, going, well, if you need a teacher, if you need a tutor, call Jenny in, she's not doing anything. And before I knew it, I was teaching 6 and 7 days a week in community centers, day camps, private tutoring, in the projects in South Central Dallas. And I loved teaching children how to make things out of things they had found. So we did lots of found art sculpture. And it was a decision time. Either go back to school to get a teaching degree, or is art going to work? Because I didn't think I wanted to do master's doctorate for anthropology. And so I tried the art, and I guess it worked, because I never went back for those other degrees.
It has certainly worked.
But they're related, the anthropology and the art,
Yes.
and observing primitive peoples who certainly engaged with their environment and enjoyed and appreciated objects they found, incorporated them in ceremonial objects and in artwork. And
Definitely.
so following that, I never quite grew up when it comes to the wonder of natural objects.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank you.
Oh, so you grew up in Texas, and here
I
you
did.
are in Creed, Colorado. How did you get here?
I had friends who had been coming to Wasson Ranch since the 20s and 30s, and I came here for a visit and just never quite got over it.
Oh, and when did you open Rare Things Gallery?
I had actually opened Rare Things in Dallas at the Old Padrita Craft Mall, and ran that for 2 years there, and then came here and reopened in 1974.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know the first thing that people think about when they hear your name, if they haven't been aware of all of your interests, is the horsehair jewelry. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how you got started?
Well, again, it first started in childhood. I had horses and would find bits of hair in the fence or the tree, and I would try to braid or macrame with them, and discover that the horsehair did not macrame very well. It was too tight a knot. But played with it for many years as a kid, and then years later, I guess in my early 20s, I saw on a trading post a Mexican horsehair hat band. And I thought, oh, that's a wonderful necklace. And the guy went, that is not a necklace, it's a hat band. You couldn't wear that as a necklace, it's too scratchy. I went, well, if there weren't any hair sticking out. So I think one of the trademarks of my work is the tightness and consistency of the braid and no loose hairs to prick the skin, because it is in fact can be very sharp if you've got loose or spliced hairs. So
Yes.
any braid that I do is only as long as the shortest hair.
Ah, that explains it.
Mhm. So when people send their own horse's hair in to have it made up, every hair is held up to light and quality checked for knots, breaks, flat spots, consistencies, and color. The hairs are reversed so that the hairs don't taper and get the braid isn't skinnier at one end than the other.
Oh, interesting. Well, it is really stunning.
Thanks.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you said that some people send in their own horsehair,
Mhm.
and otherwise, where do you acquire? Do you-
Most of the hair is imported. The bulk of it is from China, but there are other
Oh.
sources: Mexico, Argentina, Canada, and American sources. But
Oh.
China, in particular, in the Himalayas, horses are raised solely for the purpose of growing hair.
Oh my goodness.
And there is hair available from slaughter horses. Horses are not killed for their hair; it's a byproduct. There's no longer slaughtering in this country for the most part. And most of the hair comes from horses that are raised for that purpose.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And some horse hair is raised just for violin bowstrings,
Okay.
and that hair has to be of a very particular quality and length, and sells for as much as $1,200 a pound.
Woo.
A pound of horsehair is about this big around and about this long.
Oh my goodness. Well, you also enjoy horses yourself,
I do.
and you have.
I have 3 horses, and I just bred one, so maybe I'll have a 4th.
Oh, my
and I'm
goodness.
really looking for a home for a couple. I just can't ride all of them.
No.
But I've become quite a fan follower of Pat and Linda Pirelli's natural horsemanship.
Yes.
And even though I've ridden all my life, it just started over.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
the relationship with horses is, rather than owning an animal and making it do something, having a relationship with it and learning how it speaks, thinks, communicates has been so valuable. I mean, mirrors of human relationship, you know,
Yeah.
spelled out in the horse communication is fantastic.
That is great. Oh, and you enjoy riding out in the mountains and the area around Creed, or where do you normally ride?
I do. I mean, we're in 96% of the county national forest, so
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
I do some cattle moving work in your territory of Pole Creek and West Lost Trail, and with for Ed Oliver's
Oh.
cattle with the Dillies, and I ride quite a bit on my own, just out. I prefer elk trails to government trails, or just kind of snowy river riding off the side of cliffs. I'm about to tone myself down as I age, but
Oh.
I did. And I don't really like arena riding, or have not in the past, but now that I have begun to play ground games with the horses, and have them at a distance with nothing on them to see, walk, trot, canter, change directions, flying lead changes, jump over jumps with just the slightest body move, is so much fun.
Wow.